the Superman show, and everyone was like, "Work superheroes." I don't think so. Sort of, it's like a big shock that we're going to try to bring back a superhero. Now every third show is a superhero show, so that's interesting. But you know, Lois and Clark was unique in that it was called Lois and Clark, and it was all about the relationship. The characters were Lois and Clark. Superman was sort of the character that was created by Clark, by his mom and dad, let's be honest. And that was done so that he could maintain his anonymity, but the character was Clark. So that's why there was that great relationship there. And I mean, how many of you guys saw Batman vs. Superman? What? Any of you guys there last night when I was doing the little Q&A? All right, good. All four of you that were there, thank you. That was fun, and I stayed for like the first 40 minutes of the movie. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes long. That's a long movie, so get a big, giant tub of popcorn. And the thing about that is that it's such a darker environment, it's such a darker place, and it's very good on its own, but it's so different than what we did on Lois and Clark. And Superman, to me, has always been a character of light. I was talking about this with one of you at the booth today, and so I'm borrowing your words. Superman has been a character of light, and I like that, and that was a lot of what happened in my portrayal. And I liked playing a light, happy Clark, who, you know, obviously there's things that go on, but he wasn't a brooding, angry guy, and that's kind of what you see a lot of in the film, and it's just a different world. So for me, Superman is a much more of a character of light. Batman can be as dark as he wants to be. He's Batman. He's a brooder. But I have come up with my answer as far as the question. I didn't see the end of the movie. I know what happens. But when anybody asks me who wins between Batman and Superman, my answer is very clear. Wonder Woman. If not, she sure looks a lot like her. You know, having those characters and having that relationship. You know, we played it on Lois and Clark. They said that it was like moonlighting. Now, there's probably 6 of you who know what moonlighting was. But that was a great show, and it was all about the relationship between the two, and that's really what we did on Lois and Clark. And that's what makes you interested in characters, I think. You know, the lighter parts of Batman vs. Superman that I really liked in the first few minutes that I saw it were, I thought Perry White was great. Lawrence Fishburne was doing a great job with Perry White, and it was funny. And I also liked the way that Superman took that guy at the beginning who was holding Lois and just blew him through the wall. I thought that was great too. But those are kind of semi-light moments, and that's kind of the stuff I enjoy more. So I'll go watch the movie, and then I'll give a full report back, I promise.
I think the development of the characters on the show was that, you know, yes, Superman is in it, but like you said, it's Lois and Clark, and they gave such smart writing for Lois equally to Clark and Superman. That was something that I don't think we've seen in a while. When you have a superhero in a show, it's usually about the superhero, and now they're starting to realize, back like on Lois and Clark, we need to give the counterpart just as good of a story.
Well, that makes it more interesting in any relationship, you know. It's just hard. How do you be married to or have a romance with a superhero? That's tough work. But you know, any relationship is tough work. Let's be honest. Any relationship. I have a teenager. I'm watching him start trying to have relationships. Oh my gosh! Wow! I forgot about all that stuff. Blows my mind. And for you teenagers out there, mellow out. But yeah, it's all about the relationship. And if you have two strong individuals who are drawn to each other for whatever reasons, it's really compelling and it's fun to watch. I haven't watched enough of Flash or Arrow to comment on them intelligently, but Supergirl does a really nice job with the relationships. And I think Melissa Benoist is doing such a good job as Supergirl. I think she's amazing, and so if there's any Supergirl fans out there, I'll give her a hand right now.
But I wanted to talk to you. I feel like you kind of have an addiction to Christmas movies. And we don't mind it.
45 of them. I don't
so what is it about that family? And I think it's a Christmas film, but it's that family film that I think when you watch you in those films, you can really feel that it holds a special place with you. So what is it with those types of films that you love doing?
I tell you, I love my family. Like, I love my family. I love being around my family. Our family Christmases were just not always perfectly comfortable, by the way, and that's part of the charm. There were times we were at each other's throats and you're all on top of each other and someone's sleeping on the couch, usually me, and all of that stuff. And so that's just part of that wonderful family. You know, family is never perfect, but they're your family and you stick together through thick and thin. And even when I wrote 2 episodes on Lois and Clark, and the first one that I wrote was a Christmas episode. I love that time of year. I love when you have that time to reflect on family and friends and sort of the meaning of why we're here in life and all that lovely stuff. And it's a time where a lot of emotions really start to bubble up. And a big part of why I've done in the last 15 years a lot of Christmas movies, a lot of family movies, is because I'm a father. My son is going to be 16 in June, and you know that changes your life. And not only that, I'm a single father, so I have chosen for the last 16 years to not leave Los Angeles, to not take a series away from Los Angeles, and I've been offered a lot of them. Some of the money was really good too. But I could never do that to my son. I could never uproot and leave him and make him, or pull him with me and separate him from his mother and things like that. So it was very difficult. So I've chosen to make smaller films and television shows. I've been able to choose family over career, but still be able to have my career, and make family films that my son can come and watch and enjoy, and I can still be home. So that's why I've done it.
In one of the most highly rated independent film, God's Not Dead, and it was like huge, and I don't think we were even knew how big it was going to be, and it was on the top of the box office.
Yeah, you never ever know. Any film you're in, you just don't know whether it's going to be a big success or a massive failure. You just have to believe in the script or the character you're playing, or maybe you just show up because your friend asked you to. You know, the reason that I did that film was I knew Kevin was in it, and some guys asked me to, and it was a small film. Kevin was producing on it too. He was, and I could come out and do this. And, I liked the script. I thought it was very good, but you just don't know if it's going to catch fire. And that film was amazing. It caught fire. It made over $200 million here in the States itself, and did great internationally. And that's why they're doing a God's Not Dead 2, and I'm sure there's a 3 in the works, and it's great, and it's wonderful. But you never know how it's going to do. Had I known the first one was going to do so well, I would have gone for a producer credit too. I didn't do it. Dang it.
You haven't seen it, it's on Netflix.
It's a good film.
So you can go home and Netflix it.
It's a very good film. Please,
we have microphones on the side over there, so if you guys want to line up so we can give you guys enough time to ask him some questions. I looked at your IMDb because, it's not like I was stalking you or anything, but I wanted to get and you have some things coming up.
I have lots coming up. I'm involved in several different television shows. The film and television industry has changed quite a bit in the last, I'll say 30 years, but, I guess I've been doing it that long, fine. And it used to be that you could either be a film actor or a television actor, and that was kind of it. And there was a period of time where you could be a television actor who transitions to film, George Clooney, Johnny Depp. You sort of had to do that. Then there was a time where you could just be a reality star or have a sex tape, sorry, but that's part of the reality of it. Now, what happens now is there's all these different places, Netflix. I do a show called Hit the Floor on VH1, and we do 10 to 12 episodes a year, so that takes 4 months out of my year. I've still got, 8 months to do other things, and it's amazing. So you can make a couple films. I'm doing another show on Netflix, comedy, and it's called Lady Dynamite. And I did 8 of the 13 episodes. Totally different characters, silly comedy, a lot of fun. I have a film called Gosnell that's going to come up. That's based on, it's a tough story. It's based on the Philadelphia abortion clinic doctor he was in jail for murder now, and I played a detective that sort of brought him down. I met the real guy, and that was amazing. But to be a part of that movie was fantastic. I think it was crowdfunded too, which is pretty amazing that kind of thing could even exist. Then I host a magic show, CW, called Masters of Illusion. My son thinks it's fun. I like it too. I can never, ever figure out the tricks. Seriously, right in front of my face. I'm like, what did you just do? How did you pull that card out of an orange? I still can't figure that stuff out. So yeah, I like to do a lot of different things. I wrote 3 films last year. I'm just about finished writing one this year already. There's producing, directing stuff. So that's the thing people ask a lot of times, like, do you want to be an actor? Do you want to be which one would you rather do? I want to do everything. I want to do a little bit of everything, and that's a lot of fun.
wondering if you'd be willing to share a source of strength being the Superman has served for you in your life.
Oh, wow. Well, she's a teacher, by the way. She's a very good teacher. She teaches. That's a nice little superhero trait in your own right. Being a teacher, woo. Yes. And she teaches physics.
It's my card and Christopher needs a tutor.
But they will next year. Absolutely. A superhero trait. Any parent who, and there's some parents out here, I'm sure, who raises their children. I literally think every single parent is a superhero because the patience and the dedication and the thankless job you have. Your job as a parent is to raise a child to be independent of you. What a thankless job. I mean, it's the worst. Here, I made you, did all this stuff for you, and now go find your own and leave me alone. And my son's about to turn 16, and he wants the keys to the car. A new car that he wants for his 16th birthday, which he's not going to get. You'll get a new car for your 16th birthday because you're going to pick it up. But I really think, just having that patience and that selflessness to raise a child, and that goes to that 3 o'clock in the morning fever, and you have the 6 a.m. get up for work, and then they can't do it. I mean, all the sacrifices you make. So I think every parent out here, that is a superhero trait, and that certainly helped me along the way.
Thank you for coming to Salt Lake.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you.
So growing up, I never ever got to finish a whole Lois and Clark episode because I had to go to school, and so I never saw the end of it, and I hated it. But my question is, what, out of all your roles, I've seen you do Superman, I've seen you do Christmas movies, Lifetime movies where you play bad guys, why? I mean, what kind of is your favorite and why?
Well, if I had to pick the favorite role I've ever played, it would definitely have to be, Clark Kent, Superman, without a doubt. I mean, that was I did like 86, 87 hours, I forget the actual number. That was amazing. It was the beginning of my career, so it was a big shocker and it was a surprise. And it was all unknown to me. But that was, what an iconic character to be able to play and be a part of. My friend said to me, when I first got the role, it's like forever you're going to be linked with Superman. How does that feel? And I was like, I don't know what that even means. You can't put that into words or into a feeling. But now I do, obviously, because when I walk around, I think I said this yesterday at the movie theater. When you're walking down the street, people go by and then, in the car, and they're like, Superman. I think that's all right. I can be called that. I can be called a lot worse. So I'll certainly take it. And I'm really proud to be associated with a character that I think represents, small town American values. That's what I say. He fights for truth, justice, and the American way, and I think that's amazing. So I will forever embrace that, and that's certainly my favorite character to date. But seeing as I'm such a young man, I do expect it to be other roles.
Thank you again for coming. We appreciate you being here. What was your favorite or most touching thing that happened to you on Lois and Clark?
You know what's funny? The most touching thing that happened to me on Lois and Clark and shooting the show really happens now. I can't tell you how often, especially at these conventions, you come in and you get to talk to fans who either grew up watching the series or have rediscovered it now. And what happened back in the day that we never were able to see is that families would watch the show together. And you'd have moms and dads sitting with their kids, or maybe it was a single parent, and they'd sort of bond together. Unfortunately, your parents wouldn't let you stay up to watch the end of the episodes, but everybody else, I would hear stories all the time, like the only time they could stay up late on a weeknight was to watch the show. So that's probably the thing that made them the happiest, let's be honest. But they would stay and watch it together as a family, and I thought that, I'm hearing that over and over again, and I hear it constantly. It's the greatest thing I could hear. And, being a parent and sitting down and bonding with my son and I would sit and watch Hawaii Five-O. That's what he likes. Like, it's not quite a family show, buddy, but okay. But you bond over that. And so when people tell me that they bonded with their parents or their grandparents or a significant other, or tell me it helped them get through high school because they felt like a loner or anything like that, that is the thing to me that's the most touching, without a doubt. And it's nice that it's happening now, 20-something years later. But it's great. Thank you. That's a good question.
Scenes from his movies in this show.
That's Andrew Kreisberg. That's definitely all Andrew Kreisberg.
Google it later.
He's one of the exec producers of Supergirl, and he is your classic comic book geek. He knows everything about it. That's right. That's why, and he's doing it for you guys, because that kind of thing, finding something like that, it would take someone who really knows the films and knows the whole story and everything else to do that. And that's why it's so true to form. And that's Andrew Kreisberg, without a doubt.
Were we here?